Well, this is something I didn't want to do. It is December 2023. We are here in Fontana, California, and we're gonna look at the construction site and what is being done thanks to some new footage that has made its way onto the internet through some drone shots and us physically being here in Fontana. We're gonna give you an update on everything that's happening out here at what once was the Auto Club Speedway and what is now a construction site today on Shifting Gears.
Let's go! That is my guy! Yeah!
I'm Alan Bailey, and before this track completely goes away, make sure that you mash that subscribe button so that you do not miss a video. And now you can become a channel member by clicking the link down below to get early access to videos, and you get exclusive access to our Discord server so that you have a voice in what videos get made, as well as some late-breaking news that can't go unreported to the general public just yet. And while you're at it, make sure that you log on to AmericanRacingNetwork.com for the latest motorsports news. ARN, the Motorsports Authority. We're a couple weeks away from the holiday season. I had to come out here and see this track just for myself. I'm somebody who's been covering races out here for the better part of almost 15 years. Wow, do I feel old. But officially, I've actually been to every single cup race out here at the Auto Club Speedway since 1997 when it opened. And this track has gone through a myriad of changes throughout the years. Yeah, we're right off of Cherry Avenue, and this place honestly still brings back memories to me. I can honestly say I have tailgating memories, infield memories, parking lot memories, fan zone memories, garage memories, pit road memories, media center memories. I've been to almost every event out here over the course of its entire 25-year existence, and it saddens me. I got a chance to catch up with some of the locals, and they frankly just simply do not know what is happening out here. And we've talked to a few of them, include them into the plans, but for the better part, or for the most part, I should say, most of them are actually disappointed to see the racetrack go away. And really think about it. When you get away from the Nashville-Karen thought process of it all, what does a racetrack actually do? What does this racetrack actually do? It brings in a good amount of people, 120,000 plus on any given good weekend out here for Fontana. But other than that, one weekend a year, pretty quiet, really quiet. But thinking about it from a traffic standpoint, thinking about it from a noise standpoint, you have one busy weekend a year, but other than that, not so much. Now with this place going warehouses, that's more trucks on the road. That's more people coming to work at these warehouses on the road, and that's more congestion. So the people of Fontana overall are actually pretty sad to see this deal go through, and actually a little bit bummed about it. Traffic seems to be the #1 concern about people coming in, going out with the warehouses that are going in out here. And if you're completely unaware, NASCAR sold most of the land, keyword most of the land, to a development group that is building multiple warehouses in the parking lot and the surrounding areas. It ultimately means that those turns are coming down, and you can already see the decay over my shoulder of the actual billboard starting to fall apart. Here's an overhead shot of the construction site and how the land will be divided up, with 7 industry buildings surrounding what once was the Auto Club Speedway and what will hopefully become the future land of Auto Club Speedway, with the half-mile track and the land that NASCAR retained right there in the center, that white part that you can see right there. Yes, to anybody wondering, this video went up originally almost a week ago. Yes, my dog Bats is very needy and for some reason wants to hang out with me while I'm recording this pickup for this. Basically, what happened is the footage that was released online may or may not be part of an ongoing investigation by local authorities and by the FAA. So because of that, we have elected to remove that content from this video because we don't like being part of an ongoing investigation of any kind at the American Racing Network and here on YouTube. So because of that, I'm kind of going to describe to you what's happening and what is going to happen moving forward over at the Auto Club, what was the Auto Club Speedway and what is now being referred to as the California Speedway again in Fontana, California. Yes, NASCAR still owns a good chunk of that land, and because it's so wishy-washy, people are honestly wondering, well, what's really happening out there? And because of our video, when the question was proposed to Steve Phelps, NASCAR president, on SiriusXM, he had this to say.
You know, we've got renderings of what that racetrack will look like, both the surface itself, working with iRacing to make sure whatever asphalt track we put down there and whatever size. It'll be a short track for sure, just based on the fact that we don't have as much real estate there as we had. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, fans for years and years and years said, hey, we need some more short tracks. And as we continue to improve on our short track package with this next-gen car, at some point that track will come online. When that is, I don't know, but that's our desire, and that's what we're working towards.
I actually really like the fact that NASCAR is taking their time with this. I'm a big proponent of, if you're going to spend this kind of money, if you're going to make these kind of changes, take your time, do it right, and make sure that it's right, because NASCAR is spending a lot of money to do this conversion. And I do think that NASCAR taking their time is what's better for this land in Fontana, California, but it's also better for the actual drivers, the on-track racing product, and the overall experience in Southern California. You look at sporting venues locally in Southern California, but in particular the Los Angeles market, every single one of them has gotten kind of a revamp over the last few years. What was the Staples Center, what is now the Crypto.com Arena, is about to go through a massive overhaul, and it was overhauled about 20 years ago. The SoFi Stadium is insanely popular, and it's extremely modern and well upkept. That is what fans locally are used to. They are used to these multi-million-dollar facilities that are amazing, stupendous, and are very fan-friendly. And Auto Club Speedway or California Speedway wasn't really fan-friendly. Yes, it was a great racetrack. Yes, it had great amenities in the 90s when it was built in the mid-90s. And it hasn't really gotten a whole lot done to it. Yes, the fan zone got redone a few years ago, and it is pretty nice. But honestly, the stands, the Wi-Fi, everything in that area just isn't that well done. And yes, we talked in this video earlier about locals wanting the track to stay, and to be clear, it is going to stay. If I'm NASCAR, I'm not going to retain that property. I'm not going to pay property taxes. I'm not going to pay security. I'm not going to pay for the facility upkeeps and everything that's being done, including the deconstruction of the unnecessary grandstands. Because essentially, and everybody freaked out about the grandstands coming down on the front stretch last week, the reason that is because those grandstands are essentially where the new garage area will be. This will be a short track, there is no question about that. But how long, the precise length, and the banking and the curvature and what buildings are where are all still in question. The front stretch grandstands, about 3/4 of them or 2/3 of them will remain standing, but the ones on the outer edges are being chopped off and removed. A little bit violently, and people are freaking out over this, saying, oh, they're taking the whole thing down. Let's not jump to conclusions here, because where those grandstands are being torn down is not at the start-finish line. It is on the edges of where the grandstands are, or where they were originally, as those grandstands close in, and as NASCAR prepares to build things out around the edges. I very much see this track becoming a Bristol or a Martinsville with seating all the way around, and I do think that's what's going to happen. I think NASCAR ultimately wants this track to take place of the Phoenix Raceway holding the season finale, the championship finale. And I do think that that is what's going to happen at some point down the road. Whether that's 3 years, 2 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years from now, we don't really know, because NASCAR is getting it right. They're working with iRacing in order to render this place out. And yes, all of that is coming down. Does that mean NASCAR fans, especially a Southern California NASCAR fan that lives about 20, 25 miles from that racetrack, should be freaking out? No. It means ultimately that NASCAR is putting the time and the care that they need and want to into that facility so that it will thrive for generations to come. I'm honestly really excited to see what comes of this property in the next few years. I know that fans will continue to want to get a look at the construction site. Heck, I really do, as somebody whose family has worked in construction my entire life. Literally, my father, my uncle, both worked in construction, still do actually. And yes, I've heard things from this construction site that I cannot report on, unfortunately, but when I can, I will, trust me. And I'm sure that people are going to continue to try to take drones out there and use really long lenses to get as much footage as they can out there, but any footage that's illegally obtained, I will not show on this program, nor am I going to go out there and illegally obtain footage just to appease my curiosity. we're going to go ahead and work with local property owners as well as NASCAR and the FAA in order to legally obtain footage of the construction site after the new year. And hopefully we'll be able to bring that to you once we reach an agreement with all of these parties. It's a long process to get this footage to you. It's not just a snap your fingers, go out there in a pickup truck and fly a drone when no one's looking. We're not going to do that. We're not going to obtain footage illegally. I'm sorry, I'm not going to break the law, nor do I condone that. So hopefully we'll be able to bring you some new footage after the new year, probably in February, March, after the season has started. But honestly, there is so many other cool things happening in NASCAR to talk about here on the channel. We're going to continue to provide that for you well into the new year. I personally am really excited for everything that's happening with NASCAR and with the sport in general. Sorry, Papa Seño. But overall, I'm excited that NASCAR is taking their time getting this place right. It is not going away for good. Let's be clear on that. It is not dead. The Auto Club name expired literally days after the last race last year. But now, what does this track look like moving forward? Honestly, I don't know. I'm very excited though. And I'm, yes, disappointed that the 2 Mile Oval is gone, but I'm not going to sit here and mourn it. Instead, I'm going to choose to celebrate the fact that we had over 20 years on the 2 Mile Oval. And to be clear, I know I'm going to get this in the comments. Why did NASCAR just keep the 2 Mile Oval? How? I've walked that racetrack. I've seen the state of that. Yes, is that a fact? That's a fact. I've walked that racetrack. I've been on that racetrack in a car and out of a car. And honestly, it needed to be repaved. And let's be honest, did we really want to see a good 10, 15 years of racing at Auto Club? Because that's what we were going to look at if NASCAR just did a straight up repave. And frankly, I didn't want that. I didn't want to just see a straight up repave. There were rumors years ago, about 10, 15 years ago, about that place being torn up and turned into another super speedway with higher banking. And at the time, I thought, yes, let's do that. And then the track aged, and we got that brilliant run of about 10 years of phenomenal racing out there. People forget that Auto Club was always a few mile track that saw very little cautions, that frankly was boring. It really was. And then it got really good. So I'm hoping that this new short track is going to provide some amazing racing. I know it will, because NASCAR is working with iRacing. And the last time they did that to produce a short track, the LA Coliseum actually turned out pretty well when they did that. So I do think that this is going to produce some phenomenal racing. And I do think it's going to be the Bristol of the West Coast, so to speak, once we get there. But I want to hear what you have to say. Go ahead and leave it down in the comments below. What do you think of the conversion of the half-mile track? What questions do you have? Let me know in the comments down below. And while you're there, make sure that you mash that subscribe button so that you come back for the next video. And now you can go ahead and subscribe to our second channel. Yes, we have a brand new second channel, Team Chaos. The link is in the description below. It's where all of our gaming content will be, as well as the new eSport team content, racing on iRacing with Overton Speed Shop. We're very excited to partner with them for the 2024 season. That announcement came out this week, so I'm very excited about that. So go ahead and go check that out. And while you're at it, make sure that you log on to AmericanRacingNetwork.com for the latest motorsports news. ARN, the Motorsports Authority. I want to thank you so much for watching. For Shifting Gears, I'm Alan Bailey. This is Bats. Hey, hi, Mama. Nope, not going to say hi. She's a dog, not a rat, I swear. For Shifting Gears, I'm Alan Bailey. We'll see you at the track. Bye, Gearheads.